the channel. Glad you could stop by. Just in time for a little boo-boo that I did while I was trying to bracket on here. It's an oil gallery where the oil pressure sending unit is, and I must have hit it because it just cracked it a little bit, and if I hadn't noticed it right now, I'd have put this thing together and the oil would have went everywhere. So it's got a piece of brass stuck inside the block, and I'm going to show you guys how to get it out. So come on along, let's go. So here it is right here. This threads in right there in the block, and I have my oil sending unit hooks into this right here. Now I was fixing to wipe some of this off right here, and I noticed this was hanging. Not hanging, it was just loose. So when I went to move it, it broke off and left a little piece inside of here. So here's the tip for the day. Here's how you got to get it out. It's a little bolt extractor, and it's a big one, and it's designed to go in there and grab a hold of it and turn it out. So what we'll do is we'll take it, set it in the hole. And you don't always have to, but typically we'll tap it in a little bit. Just tap it a hair, just to kind of give it some tooth. I've got a socket that fits this, so what we'll do is we'll ease in on it. Let's see if I can get you closer. Here she comes. Well, so I thought for sure in my bins of junk that I keep that I'll never throw away from other stuff, I thought I'd have a piece I could use to fix it. And I don't. There's a lot of junk in here. Maybe that's why it's just a junk drawer, because it's just junk. Let's go to the hardware store. All right, I got back from the hardware store, and here's the fitting what we're going to use, a little brass fitting to go back in here. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this off a little bit. I'm going to retape, Teflon tape, all these connections and put it together and put it on. I'll show you how it's done. Before I clean this piece off here, I wanted to show you some examples of fittings and when to use Teflon tape and when not to use Teflon tape. These fittings here are all pipe threads right here. They all need Teflon tape or pipe dope or something to go on them. Pipe dope is a liquid Teflon tape, basically. So this style uses tape. Okay, here's another example right here. It's pipe thread. You got to put Teflon tape on that. Okay? And there's a certain way you roll it on here, and I'll show you on this. A certain direction you roll it so that when you thread it in here, it won't unravel. Okay? So, all of these right here, look at them, they're all open. These threads taper down in, and they get tight as they go in, and the threads do the sealing. On the other hand, there's another type that's a flare fitting. So here's a brake line, for example. You can see it has a little area right inside of here, a little cone shaped. That's going to fit up against that cone shape in there. Okay, right like this. That's where all the sealing happens. Now the sealing happens on the threads here. The threads merely hold that piece of flared pipe into that cone. There's the sealing. Guess what? No thread tape on that. It's not necessary. It doesn't do anything. The threads aren't sealing anything. It's a straight thread. On the other end, this little adapter here, is pipe thread. Pipe threads have to have tape. Flares do not. Here's a big example of a flare fitting. This is a big 3/8 fuel line. This is a fitting for it's probably for a quadjunct carburetor. So look inside there. You can see that cone, and this piece here fits up into it. The threads hold that against that cone, the pipe against the cone. You do not need thread tape on this. The threads do not do the sealing. One more example. This one here is called a compression fitting. Okay? It's a compression fitting. Has a little ferrule on the inside of it. This is what you'd use. Well, it's what I use what the oil line from my sending unit on my Bronco uses. It's right here on this end. Matter of fact, I'll probably use that new one on here. Okay. These do not take thread tape on these. They do not. The other end is pipe thread. It does. So, a short lesson on that. Now let me show you how, on this big fitting here, how we thread the tape on there so that it doesn't run off. Take your pipe tape. Tear your piece off. And you have to think about the direction that you're laying when this thing finishes. What you want to do is you're going to pull it tight. You're going to overlap it good and tight. And you can see where the end on this thing is. Okay, the end is this way. Okay, so we're going to thread this on in this direction, like this. Okay, if you thread it the opposite way, when you thread it on, it'll catch that and it'll unthread itself. So on this one here, you just start tightening it up, and you know what? It doesn't have to be real tight. You get it in there snug. You don't have to try to stop it. It's going into this threaded hole, and it's wedging itself in there and sealing on the threads. Easy peasy. Every bit of this will take thread tape except for where the oil line goes in. Now it's pretty tight in there where it goes, and you'll see in a second where this threads in. I'm going to leave this piece out, ready to go in here for the old line, and then I'll put this in here after that's all done. I do normally use white Teflon tape. I probably have some around here, but this works good. So let's go put it in. It's getting tight. I'm just gonna take it, point this thing up where I want it to be now. That. On these compression fittings right here, that ferrule's being compressed around that oil line, and it just gets pretty darn good and snug. You don't have to put the Gorilla touch to it. There you go. All done. Well, thanks for tuning in today. I sure hope you learned something, and if you like this kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell there on the side down there. We'll put some more videos on. I hope you have a great day.